Fellow Araxians, hello, Commander Cyrious here. We are finally getting some news about what's going on with Planetside 2. Rogue Planet Games is effectively dissolved, and Toadman Interactive is the new Planetside 2 developer. So soldiers, let's dive in. I'll see you Planetside. Okay folks, let me give you a background of Toadman Interactive to start. It was founded by Robin Floden and Rasmus Davidson originally. The Robin Floden name should be familiar, he was the original founder of EG7, but this studio was formed well before that. It's mostly been a work-for-hire studio, that is having developers on staff but mostly subcontracting out to other development companies or other production companies. The studio has had its ups and downs, its most challenging point having to relocate a bunch of their developers out of Russia when the war broke out. They sold off what assets they have there and got as many people as they could out of the country. Now Toadman Interactive is a sizable studio. It had 119 employees as of the end of last year. I'm having a little bit of trouble deciphering why it would drop off from 122 down 57 and then jump right back up. It probably has to do with some ongoing reorganization with the merger between EG7 and Daybreak Games. There was a situation where that AMG, that Antimatter Games, broke away from Toadman Interactive, became its own studio, but now it's listed as 0 employees. I don't quite have the details of what's going on there. The bottom line is, Toadman Interactive is a large studio, but they are always working on a variety of titles. A large portion of their activity last year was a contract with Cold Iron Studios, another company under the EG7 umbrella that is developing the new Alien Fireteam's Elite game. It seems their main goal for the studio is try to ramp up the work-for-hire business, not taking on development risks themselves, but just signing up for work with other production studios. They do have one final self-published title coming out. It's called Evil vs. Evil. It's in beta right now. They're going to release it Q2. If there's enough of a vampire audience, maybe you get some traction, but reading the EG7 reports, they've already given up on it before it's even released. They completely wrote it down last year. So we can expect for Toadman, they're going to stop developing their own stuff. They're going to work on this Alien Fireteam's Elite. Alien Fireteam's Elite releases mid-2025, so they've still got at least a year that they could be working on that. And the next thing is H1Z1 begins pre-production second half of 2024. And while Daybreak Games is a publisher, I certainly expect them to hire Toadman Interactive out to do a lot of the work. But as mentioned in the report, they haven't really built out Toadman's work-for-hire roster like they want to. They have a game, Planetside 2, that they have all but dissolved the development team for. While I'm sure Rogue Planet Games still exists somewhere on paper, seems like most of that team has been split off to work on different things. So Planetside 2, they don't own the IP anymore, but they're still the publisher and the developer somewhere in the EG7 umbrella. It's got nothing going, and Toadman Interactive needs to fill in some gaps. It makes a lot of sense to synergize within the company and put it under Toadman's purview for development. So we got a pretty basic introduction letter. Basically says we're the developers, Daybreak Games is still the publisher. And I had to get a little bit of a chuckle out of the best-in-class marketing and community support. And the new team did go ahead and put out a roadmap. Again, I will give them high marks for communication. We're definitely seeing the intentions. They are letting us know what they plan to do. So whether you like it or not, you got to give them props there. The only problem is it looks pretty grim. The future looks pretty sparse. They are saying up through June, so basically Q1 and Q2, not much is going to happen. We're going to have Planetside 21st anniversary of the franchise. Old news, they've done that many years. They'll just re-release the bundles. I expect them to be a little bit cheaper this year. Next, they mark down the holiday events. Again, they've always done the holiday events. They usually use it as opportunities for sales in the store. But there's not really much to do in-game for these holiday events. The Sundra rework has been pushed to July at the earliest, and they are looping in the mentioned assault facility and game mode with that, so both of those are now July items. Again, at the earliest. I kind of envision it more as July, August, September, maybe gets on the test server at the front end of that, and then to me releases more in September. And then they mention the summer directives again and the holiday events, things that, were already there and they come around during that time of year. And then it is back into end of the year, the 12th anniversary, something about Nanite of the Living Dead. I don't know if they're just redoing the directive or if there's something cooler happening, and Araximus. So all kind of the standard stuff. So there you have it. That's a roadmap. What's my take on this? What it does stop, which I think would be considered good news, is this kind of screeching halt of Planetside 2 development we've seen. I kind of expected that to carry on through this year, for them to release the monthly updates, but never really release anything significant in the game. But by bringing it in the Toadman Interactive umbrella, they actually do have developers that can work on it, depending on how many cycles they allow them to put into this game. So from that sense, the fact that it'll actually get some development, it is a good thing. From the other sense of, well, maybe it's just good at this point for it to be a rapid decline so that they give up on it, and then the people that own the IP now can go shop it. It's bad news from that perspective. This will drag the game out a little bit, for better or worse. I mostly see this as a delay tactic. Toadman Interactive already lists EverQuest and DCUO and Planetside 2 on their website of games they're working on. They probably have already been doing some work for this. It's now sharing something that is supposed to be big news while setting the Sunderer update back all the way till July, when I think most people read those dev update letters as something like it was imminently hitting the test server. So at least we know where we stand. Rogue Planet Games is no more, effectively. Toadman Interactive will be getting some cycles on Planetside 2. I'm sure it takes a reduced priority to things like EverQuest, Alien Fireteam Elite, or if any H1Z1 development kicks back up. But some stuff will happen nonetheless. We also know that for the next 3 or so months, we can't expect anything to happen because they are very clear on the roadmap that is a July through September type of item. I do think server merges before then are going to have to be prioritized. It's getting really dire on a couple of servers, and there's no point in doing work when so many of the people won't even bother coming back because their character will be stuck on a low pop server. So hopefully we do get some news about that happening. Otherwise, there is your rundown of what's coming up. Please let me know what you think of it down in the comments. That will be everything for now, soldiers. And until next time, I'm Commander Cyrious, and I will see you Planetside.